These right here are the best games for your Steam Deck under $10. So let's get started. First up is Slay the Spire. So Slay the Spire is quite interesting. It's a mishmash between a roguelike and a deck building sort of card game. So you essentially build up a deck of cards and you go through these levels again and again and again, obviously improving your deck and getting stronger with time. This has a very high rating on Steam, actually, a 96.5% Steam DB rating, and it's currently on sale for around £6.62 or about $8.50. It says down here that it's also on Game Pass right now. So if you have access to an Xbox and a Game Pass sub, it's probably worth trying this out on Game Pass instead before you commit to buying it for your Steam Deck. But either way, this is an extremely highly rated game. People seem to love it, and for about $8, you can't really go wrong. Next up is Subnautica. So Subnautica is essentially like a survival game where you are stranded on this planet. There's a huge vast ocean, and you are essentially going around exploring this ocean, trying to rebuild your ship, collecting parts and all of that, and trying to survive as you go. It's it's pretty famous on like Twitch and all the rest of it because there can be quite a few jump scares, especially the deeper you go. But it also seems like just a beautiful game, and yeah, again, extremely highly rated at 95.5%. It unfortunately isn't on Game Pass anymore, so if you do want to buy it, this is a good time. And it has been free before on the Epic Game Store, but if you didn't pick it up then this is your next best bet. So it's currently on sale for £8.24 or just shy of $10. There's also the Deep Ocean bundle. So this bundles together Subnautica and its sequel, which is Subnautica Below Zero, for about £14.84 or about $17.80. Obviously, the bundle of the both of them isn't under $10, but individually they are. So I'd suggest picking up maybe the first one, giving it a shot. If you enjoy it, then the next time the bundle is on sale, you can buy Below Zero for a discounted price. Next up is Resident Evil 2. Now, currently, RE2 and RE3 are both on sale for about £8 or £9, which is again sub $10. And RE2 in particular, is extremely highly rated, 95.84% Steam DB rating. Obviously, it's a survival horror game. It's a remake of the original RE2, which came out, I believe, on the PS1. It's a from the ground up remake, so it's not currently on Game Pass or any subscription service right now. And both RE2 and RE3 should run perfectly on your Steam Deck. So these two are great buys. Next up is Undertale. So Undertale really needs no introduction. It's an indie darling. So it's essentially based on games like Earthbound and the whole Mother series, as well as other games, other RPGs on the SNES. And this is infamous for basically subverting your expectations. So I would say if you don't know much about it already, go in blind. Don't really read up too much about it, and you'll be in for a treat. Again, this is extremely highly rated, 95.5% on Steam DB, and this is by far the cheapest game so far. £2.09, or around just shy of $3. It's the cheapest it's ever been. It's not currently on Game Pass, so this should run perfectly on your Steam Deck as well. So just for the amount of time you can get from this game and just the level of polish, about $3 is just such a steal. Next up is another indie darling, Celeste. So this is essentially a 2D platformer that's extremely tight and can get very, very challenging. The thing that's often praised about Celeste is its story, but it's essentially about a girl who's trying to overcome certain hurdles in her life, certain challenges. There's a large emphasis on mental health, and yeah, again, the platforming is sublime. It's very tight, and it's currently on sale for £3.74 or about $4.99. Again, it's left Game Pass as well, and this should also run perfectly on your Steam Deck. Epic have given it away before for free on the Epic Game Store, but again, if you didn't catch that, this is the next best thing. So next up are a bunch of Fallout games. Fallout obviously is an extremely beloved Bethesda franchise from 3 onwards. So there's 3, New Vegas, 4, and that's pretty much it. There's also Fallout 76, which is an MMO, but I'm not really going to count that. So first up is the Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition. This is on sale now for about £5.27 or about $6.59. This has also been free on the Epic Game Store, but again, if you didn't make the most of that, this is your next best bet. It's also on Game Pass. Obviously, since Bethesda was bought out by Xbox, the entire library of Bethesda games is on Game Pass. So that is actually the best way to play. If you have an Xbox and a Game Pass sub, I'd highly recommend just giving the Fallout games a shot. And if you want to buy them to play portably, then you can invest in buying them on Steam. There's Fallout New Vegas. The base game is about $2.24, which is give or take around $2.50. You can buy the Ultimate Edition for about $5.27, so that's probably about $5 or $6. And then finally, there's Fallout 4, which is currently £5.27 or $6.59, the same as Fallout 3. And I guess also there's Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition, which obviously bundles all the DLC and stuff like that. And this is on sale for £8.74 or just shy of $10. So if you want the entire, I guess, Fallout franchise, you can also buy the original games, so Fallout 1 and 2, and also Fallout Tactics. They're both £2, so I would assume around, $2.50. So the three of them are around $2.50 each. And if you want to buy the entire franchise bundle, that comes up to about £51. So again, probably around $50 to $60. Next up is the Phoenix Wright Trilogy. So this is, again, extremely highly rated at about 95% on SteamDB. It's currently on sale, the original trilogy, for £9.89, or actually the same amount in dollars, so $9.89. And if you want to buy it with the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which is essentially the most recent entry in the series, you can buy the Turnabout collection for £16.79, or just shy of $25. Probably not the best value for money there, but at the very least, the original trilogy is very good value for money. Next up is a game that I've been having a lot of fun with, and that's Brotato. This is, basically a survivors like. So it's basically Vampire Survivors, the same sort of gameplay loop as that, but instead you play as a sort of potato with various different abilities. You're fighting swarms as they come in. You're buying upgrades in between swarms, and yeah, it's just it's a very fun game. This is again just shy of 95% on SteamDB. This is currently on sale for £3.19, or just shy of $4, which I believe is the cheapest this has ever been. While we're at it, definitely try and pick up Vampire Survivors as well. This is the game that started the whole trend. This is very, very highly rated indeed. 97.5% on SteamDB. This is also currently on Game Pass, both Xbox Game Pass and PC Game Pass. So if you have a Game Pass Ultimate subscription or just a PC Game Pass sub, then you should be able to play this on your Steam Deck as well. So it's currently on sale for £2.99, which is around $3.74. Obviously, it had been cheap in the past while it was in early access, but this is still a very good price for it. And an even better price is if you get the bundle with both DLCs, Legacy of the Moonspell, and also Ties of the Foscari. The base game plus both DLCs comes up to £4.63, which is about $5.80. So I'd recommend getting the bundle with the DLC. Both the DLCs are pretty expansive and they're quite cheap as well. So yeah, that would be my recommendation. But yeah, first of all, try and play on Game Pass, and then if you want to buy it for your Steam Deck, you can do that afterwards. Next up is another indie darling. This is Limbo. So Limbo came out quite a while ago now, back in 2011. It still has a very, very high SteamDB rating at 91.5%. It's unfortunately no longer on any Game Pass, be it PC Game Pass or Xbox Game Pass. It's still on EA Play Pro if you have access to that. Don't know if you do. Limbo is essentially like a very moody, a very gritty 2D side-scrolling platformer. It's very good. It's not particularly long. You can finish it within probably a sitting, so say 3 to 4 hours. I would imagine. The atmosphere is great. It's very moody. It's very dark. Just the overall feeling of the game, just how it plays, how it controls, and everything is great. It's very, very good. Very good indeed. This is on sale for 89p, or about 99 cents. And yeah, I mean, for that price, it's an absolute no-brainer. An even bigger no-brainer is buying the bundle of both Inside and Limbo. Both of these were made by the same developers, so again, they're pretty similar in feel. Inside is, again, essentially another 2D side-scrolling platformer with a very moody and very dark atmosphere. It's very similar, but I hear that Inside is significantly better, which makes sense considering that Limbo was the first major game. So if you want to buy Inside by itself, that's £1.69 or about $199. This is also currently still on Game Pass, and you can buy the bundle for about £2.32 or around $2.68. And Inside was also free with the Epic Game Store back in 2019. But again, if you didn't catch it then, this is your next best bet. Next up is Doom. This is the 2016 game, Doom 2016. It's, obviously it's very famous. It's basically a from the ground up remake of the original Doom. It's essentially a fast paced first person shooter where you're going up against the hordes of hell. You're on Mars. You're basically trying to take back Mars from the demons that have like invaded from hell. Then you eventually enter hell, and fight back the demon horde. And it's just such a fun game. It's like the shooting is amazing. The feel of each kill is sublime, and yeah, it's just a great game. It's just a great game. So it says here Doom isn't on any subscription service, but I know for a fact it's on Game Pass. So I don't know what's happening there. Either way, it's currently on sale for £3.99 or just shy of $5. And this should play perfectly on your Steam Deck. Great game, very very good game indeed. Next up is FTL Faster Than Light. So this is essentially it's a roguelike where you are piloting a spaceship, and you're controlling everything that happens in that spaceship. So it's essentially like a top-down spaceship management sim kind of game where it's essentially it's a procedurally generated. You're going through, you face these different scenarios and all of that, and it is very hard by design. It's actually very difficult to beat this game, but it's all about the process of getting better and improving with time. So this is again very highly rated, about 94% on SteamDB. It has unfortunately left both Game Pass and EA Play. It's currently on EA Play Pro. But if you want to buy it outright, it's £1.74 or $2.50. Next up are the Ori games. The original, so Ori and the Blind Forest, and its sequel, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. So both of them are on Game Pass, first of all, and they're both 2D side-scrolling action platformers. So think of them, they're pretty similar to something like Hollow Knight, except there's less focus on action and more focus on platforming, especially in the original. So Ori and the Blind Forest is currently on sale for £3.74 or around $4.99. And the art direction in these games is just stunning. It's absolutely beautiful, and it plays very well indeed. It's very tight. And also Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is the follow-up. This one in particular is extremely highly rated at 95%, and this is on sale for £6.24 or around $7.49. And you can buy both of them, so Ori the collection, so both games bundled together, for a further discount at £8.99, which is around $11.23. So again, just over $10, but both games individually are sub $10. Next up is Spiritfarer. So this is essentially like a management game where you're helping these anthropomorphic animals get over the things that are tying them down, and essentially help them move on to the afterlife. So it's a very melancholic game, but it's also pretty nice. It's quite nice and cozy. It's there's a lot to do, and it is quite a fun game. This is also the farewell edition, which includes the base game and I believe some DLC. And this is again sitting around 93.5% on SteamDB, and it's currently on sale for £4.99 or $5.99. Next up is Bugsnax. So this is a really weird game. This, I believe, was a PlayStation exclusive, PS5 exclusive, specifically for a while. So essentially, you're on an island, and there are these like snacks that are essentially alive. They essentially behave like animals, and your job is to catch them and feed them to essentially the people on the island. So essentially, they will request for you to catch a certain Bugsnax. You catch it, and then you give it back to them. And apparently, it's surprisingly emotional. Like the story is surprisingly good. These Bugsnax, as people eat them, they take on properties of those animals, and it's a really weird game. It's a very strange game, but it seems quite cool. And it says here that Bugsnax left Game Pass, but I'm pretty sure it's still on Game Pass as far as I know. So I might be wrong about that. But either way, It's currently on sale now for £6.62, or around $8.49. Next up is Untitled Goose Game. Now this is a really fun and wacky game. You essentially play as a goose who just goes around annoying people. So you have various objectives to accomplish within like a certain area before you progress to the next area. And all of these objectives are just fun, goofy challenges. Like stealing a boy's glasses, or like various other things, like invading a garden, whatever. It is very funny. It's around 93% on SteamDB, and it was on Xbox Game Pass. Apparently, it no longer is, and it's currently on sale for £7.74, or literally just shy of $10. Next up are all the games made by Freebird Games. So these are the people behind To the Moon, and it's following games. So specifically To the Moon, one of the best games I've ever played. It's more a visual novel than it is a game. Yeah, it's very interesting. Just the amount of depth that the story has, and the twists and turns as you go along. Highly recommend it. So To the Moon is around £1.70, or just shy of $2. And if you do download it, don't forget to download the 2 free pieces of DLC, the Sigmund Minisode 1 and 2. They add a very significant amount to the overall story. So yeah, just make sure you download and play them. They also have Finding Paradise, which is the sequel to the Moon, again for £1.70, or just shy of $2. There's also a Bird Story, which is a much shorter game from them, featuring the same sort of the same sort of style. It's again another a short visual novel in the exact same pixel art style. This is currently 59 pence, or around 79 cents. And then finally, their most recent game, Impostor Factory. This is actually one I still have yet to play, but it seems like essentially the third game in the franchise. I don't know too much about this. I don't know if it has the same characters. I assume it does, but I'm very much looking forward to playing this myself. And this is currently on sale at £4.25, or $4.99, so just shy of $5. Next up, we have Mark of the Ninja Remastered. So this is, as the name implies, a remastered version of Mark of the Ninja. So this is essentially a 2D side-scrolling platformer where you are, trying your hardest to be stealthy and make sure that, enemies aren't alerted to your presence. So think of it like essentially a 2D Assassin's Creed. It's very good. Like the mechanics build on each other very well. There's quite a lot of progression as well, and the amount of different ways that you can play the game, either essentially like killing everyone, or going the complete pacifist route, or anything in between. It's very well designed indeed. This is currently £6.19, or around $7.99. But if you already have the original Mark of the Ninja, like I do actually, the upgrade is only 99 pence, or around $1.24. I might need to buy that myself actually. It's a very good game. It's a very good game. Next up are all the BioShock games. 1 and 2 are both currently remastered, and BioShock Infinite is just the standard base game. Let's go through them one by one. So the original BioShock is, an infamous game. It's extremely well regarded. I believe it's currently sitting at a 78.5% SteamDB rating, only because of the 2K launcher that it basically forces you to use. If we take a look at the original, which is no longer on sale, that's sitting at around 92%. So it's probably just the forced use of the 2K launcher. So again, the BioShock games, specifically the first one, and I guess the second one to some extent, they are essentially very moody, very gritty first-person shooters. They really did set the standard, I believe, for FPS games back in the day. Just the incredible story, because of the incredible amount of like customization in how you can play if you wanted to, with all the different abilities and stuff like that. This is currently on sale for £3.49, or just shy of $5. BioShock 2 has also been remastered. This wasn't received quite as well. It was very much a departure from the first game. I believe it also wasn't made by the same devs, but it's also on sale for a decent price, about £2.09, or just shy of $3. And then finally, BioShock Infinite. Now, okay, I loved BioShock Infinite back in the day. I played this, I think in the year it came out, back in 2013. I think I rented it from some game rental service here in the UK. Love by Film, I believe it was called, or Love Film. But yeah, this is an amazing game. I love the story. I love the atmosphere. It's the atmosphere is very much like a 180 from the first two BioShock games. It's very bright. It's very vibrant. The shooting mechanics are very solid. From what I understand, the story doesn't quite live up to my memories of it. So this might be a bit of nostalgia talking here. But I mean, it's sitting at around 92.5% on SteamDB. From my recollection, it was a very good game, and it's decently priced as well. It's sitting at £4.99 or $7.49. Next up is Journey. Now, Journey very much did uh, change the sentiment towards indie games. I believe Journey, when it first came out on the PS4, actually changed the way the games media and I guess people in general perceived indie games, because pre Journey, indie games were sort of like their own category, and then Journey came along and just blew everybody out of the water, and it did win quite a few Game of the Year awards, just on its own merit. It's a phenomenal game. It's again, it's much more a story driven experience. The gameplay isn't like that great. There's not a huge amount of depth to the gameplay. It's pretty much just a couple of button presses. But yeah, just the experience you get while playing the game, just the emotions that just the sheer sense of wonder is it's so good. It's highly recommend Journey. Highly recommend it. It's sitting at about 92.5% on SteamDB and is on sale currently for £6.24 or around $7.49. There's also the other game, Flower, which released just before Journey. It's not quite as good from what I understand, but it's pretty similar in everything really about the game. And you can buy the bundle of Journey and Flower for about £7.05, which is around $8.43. And while we're talking about this publisher, Annapurna, well, let's move on to What Remains of Edith Finch. So essentially, What Remains of Edith Finch is a collection of a bunch of different games, essentially. So it's about somebody going back to their old family house, exploring it, finding articles, finding all of these things, and then living the memories that they created, with those items. So it's a mishmash of like a bunch of different genres and a bunch of different things, and essentially it's about this person trying to figure out why she's the only person left alive in her family. Or everybody else has died, and she's living through their memories, and just exploring their history together. And this currently isn't on Game Pass. It left Game Pass a while ago, and it's £4.24 or $4.99. Again, this was also given away for free on the Epic Game Store, but if you didn't pick it up then, this is a good time to pick it up. And also from the same publisher is Donut County. So Donut County is a very a very strange game. You essentially play as this hole in the ground. Like it's literally like just a small hole. You can think of it as pretty similar to Katamari, whereas but in Katamari you're essentially collecting a bunch of things, rolling up into a ball, and having that ball grow with every item that you pick up, like a snowball, essentially, right? Donut County is like the inverse of that. You are a small hole in the ground, and you're moving it around, and for every item that falls in, the hole grows slightly bigger. So it's just about like picking up small things, getting the hole to grow to a certain size, and then being able to swallow more and more things. And it's a very fun game. It's very quirky. The humor in this is very good. It's pretty short, so there's different levels to play through. Once you complete one, there's like a short story segment, and then you move on to the next. Yeah, it's just a very fun game. This has a 88% SteamDB rating, and despite what this says, I believe it still is on Game Pass. But nonetheless, it's selling currently for £3.29 or $3.89. Next up is Risk of Rain. So this is another roguelike. You're essentially on an alien planet, and it's a 2D side-scrolling roguelike where you're fighting through various waves of aliens, trying to figure out what's happening on this planet. You can play either by yourself or co-op with I think up to 3 people. I don't have much experience with this game personally, but it seems like a very fun game. And from what I understand, it is one of the better roguelikes out there. Especially judging by its SteamDB rating, sitting at 91.5%, and it's currently on sale for a great price, £1.39 or just shy of $2. Next up is This War of Mine. So essentially, this War of Mine is a 2D survival game where you're not playing as a soldier. You're instead playing as a civilian or like a group of survivors living in this war-torn country, and you're constantly struggling for food to find medicine. You're struggling to essentially expand and find people as well to help. And it is a very sort of like depressing, gritty, and harrowing game. It's sitting at around 91.5% on SteamDB, currently on Game Pass. And if you want to buy it outright, that's it's on sale for £3.35 or around $3.99. You can also find it even cheaper if you buy from Fanatical instead of from Steam directly. So just give that a shot. That's £2.39 currently, which is probably around $3, I would imagine. And you can also buy the complete edition for £3.91, or that's around $4.63. Another thing is the Grand Collection of all the games made by 11-bit studios. So that's a bunch of games. So that's this War of Mine, Frostpunk, plus all the DLCs for both Children of Mortar, Moonlighter, all the Anomaly games, South of the Circle, and all the various soundtracks and stuff. And you can buy this currently for £19.68. In dollars, that's around $24.08. Obviously, that is significantly more than the £10 or $10, but I just thought I'd give it a shout out because I think for what you're getting, this is an incredible deal. Next up is CrossCode. So CrossCode is a very good game. So I played this on the Switch. I've yet to complete it, but from what I have played, it's extremely good. So it's essentially like a top-down pixel art 2D action RPG. You play as this girl who spawns into an MMO, but she doesn't know who she is in real life. All she knows is that she essentially lives in this virtual MMO. It's a very good game. Like the action is tight, the enemies are challenging, the temples are very Zelda-like. It's a very Zelda-like structure because you're playing through this MMO that's based around various dungeons and leveling up and all the rest of it. You unlock certain abilities as you go through to help you get through these dungeons. It's very good. It's very good. Currently sitting at 91% on SteamDB. It unfortunately left Game Pass as well. Currently on sale for £4.49 or just shy of $6. If you want to buy CrossCode and both its DLCs, you can buy the complete edition for £7.17 or around $9.87. So just shy of $10. Next up is Death's Door. So Death's Door is essentially a top-down, low-poly art style Dark Souls game, essentially. It's a Souls-like. You essentially work as this crow who's going around reaping the souls of the dead. And, it has very tight combat. It's very challenging. Again, it's essentially a Souls-like, a top-down Souls-like, and the art style is great. The game is rated very well on SteamDB at 91%. It's currently on Game Pass if you want to give that a shot first. And it's currently on sale for the cheapest it's ever been at £6.70 or $7.99. Next up are just some very cheap and cheerful games, Toree 3D and Toree 2. Both of these are essentially like PS1 style 3D platformers. It's quite cute, it's quite fun, and they are very cheap indeed. They are both on sale for about 39 pence or around 49 cents each. And yeah, I mean, just for the novelty and just for like, I guess, just a cheap and cheerful time, these are great games to pick up for the price. Next up are the SteamWorld games. So I'll go from the beginning. So first of all, SteamWorld Dig is essentially a 2D platforming game where you are digging and mining essentially gems as they pop up and working your way further and further down to mine more valuable gems to upgrade your equipment, and then it's a whole gameplay loop. The story is pretty good. The controls are tight. It's just a really fun game. It's very well rated as well, sitting at around 90.6% on SteamDB, and it's very cheap as well. It's 71 pence or around 99 cents. They follow this up with SteamWorld Dig 2, which basically expanded on everything. It's a much more it's a much beefier game. It's much better designed. The controls are better. The essentially everything about the game is very good indeed. And this is on sale for £3.87 or around $4.99. Also, SteamWorld Heist. This is a departure from both of the Dig games. So this is essentially a turn-based 2D strategy game where you have, guns and all the rest of it. You have manual aiming with these guns. It's also based on how well you can manually aim and how well you can strategize, where the bullets bounce off and all that stuff. It's a fun game with a solid gameplay loop, a decently long game as well. It gets actually very hard very quickly, surprisingly. Yeah, it's just a great game. Once you get into the flow and into the rhythm, it's very good indeed. This is currently sitting at 90.77% on SteamDB, and it's around the cheapest it's ever been, at £1.13 or around $1.49. And then the final game in the series is SteamWorld Quest, which is essentially a turn-based 2D RPG. And I haven't played this yet myself, but it seems pretty solid. It's not quite as highly rated as the others. It's sitting at around 83-84% on SteamDB, and this is around £4.49 or just shy of $5. You can also buy the complete bundle, including all the games and all the DLCs and all the soundtracks for £12.57, which is around $15.91. Again, more than the $10, but if you want to buy any of these games individually, I would highly recommend picking up at least Dig, Heist, and Dig 2 and play them in that order. The games are very, very good indeed. Next up, just as we mentioned the Fallout series previously, now we're on to the Elder Scrolls. So obviously, there's the three mainline games in the series that are currently on Steam. Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim are all very cheap indeed. I mean, let's go through them one by one. So first of all, Morrowind is currently on sale for £5.19, which is around $5.99. Next up is Oblivion. Oblivion is on sale for £3.89, or around $4.49. And finally, the the big one, the famous one, the most famous one, I should say, Skyrim. Skyrim is currently on sale for £8.74, or just shy of $10. And you can buy the anniversary edition for £17.19, or just shy of $20. There's also the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim in VR. I don't think this is particularly well received, but if you do want it, it's about £16 or $19.79. There's also the Elder Scrolls Online, which is the MMO set in the Elder Scrolls world. This is sitting at £4.79, or around $5.99. Just as with the Fallout series, because Bethesda was bought out by Xbox, all of these games are currently on Game Pass, both PC and Xbox Game Pass. So I would highly recommend, trying to get a Game Pass sub if you can, and just trying them out. But obviously, these games really need no introduction. Skyrim in particular is just like a cultural phenomenon, right? And if you haven't played them yet, you really owe it to yourself to at least play them now. And yeah, all of these should run absolutely perfectly on the Steam Deck. Next up is Ghostrunner. So this was a timed PS5 exclusive for, I believe, a year. It's currently out, obviously, on Steam as well as Xbox. I believe it is actually on Game Pass as well. It's essentially like a first-person cyberpunk action game. Honestly, I don't know too much about it myself, but the combat is very tight from what I understand. The overall style of the game is beautiful. And yeah, overall, it just seems like a pretty solid game. Sitting at currently 90% on SteamDB, and it is £7.49, or around $8.99. Next up, we have Okami HD. Okay, if you haven't played Okami yet, please just pause this video, go and buy it, and just play it. It's so good, man. Honestly, it is essentially. Oh, I believe this came out the same year as Twilight Princess, and Twilight Princess was not the best Zelda game to come out that year, because it was Okami. Okami is just a very good game. As I said, it's basically based on the Zelda sort of formula. But yeah, you essentially play as a wolf who's like the incarnation of the sun, essentially. The sun god. But yeah, it was just so good, man. The art style is beautiful. It's with like thick lines. It's in the style of those Japanese ink paintings. And yeah, it's just a very good game, man. The action combat is solid. The story is solid. It lasts for much longer than you think. Actually, it actually goes on for a while. And yeah, it's just a solid game, man. Very good indeed. Currently sitting at £7.99, or $9.99. Next up is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. So this comes from the same people behind Devil May Cry and Odyssey to the West, and it's essentially set in the Viking era, and it's about this girl who's fighting her way into hell to try and bring back her loved one. This game is famous because it very accurately reflects mental illness, and it is a very accurate rendition of how mental illness can affect somebody's life. It's essentially like a 3D action game currently on Game Pass. It has a Steam DB rating of just under 90%, and it's on sale for like an extremely good price, £3.74 or $4.49. Next up is Super Hot. This honestly is one of the most original and innovative shooter I've played in years. Um, so it's basically time stands still when you stand still. Time only moves when you move. So it's about balancing when you move, how you aim, where you shoot, and all of that stuff. Is very good. The story, I'm not gonna say too much, but it's very good. It's very trippy. So yeah, this is sitting at just under 89% on Steam DB. Unfortunately, it's no longer on any subscription service, and it is £5.39 or $7.49. There's also Super Hot VR, which is actually a completely separate game, which is fairly well received, not quite as well as the original, and this is £7.99 or $9.99. And then there's also the sequel to Super Hot, which is Mind Control Delete. Again, this wasn't as well received as the original game. It's sitting at 82.7% on Steam DB. And this is on sale for £7.19 or just shy of $10. Next up, we have Goat Simulator. So Goat Sim is just a stupid game. It's just a really dumb game. You play as this goat who, for some reason, has the power to do essentially anything. It's just like really wacky. Think of it like Untitled Goose Game, but like taking the wackiness up several notches. This has been on Game Pass for a long time. I've played it myself for quite a while. It's just really good fun. It's so stupid. It's on sale now for £1.43 or just shy of $2. And you can also buy the bundle with all the DLCs for about £4.27, which is around $5.53. And finally, we have the Overcooked games. So Overcooked 1 and 2, as well as all the DLCs. So the original Overcooked it's just a really fun cooking game. It's mainly based around couch co-op. So for the best experience, you should play it with other people. Somewhere between 2 and 4 people is perfect. Playing it by yourself is doable, but it's not really fun. It's nowhere near as fun as it is with more than one person. And yeah, it's just about balancing, getting ingredients from one place to another, getting dishes from one place to another, essentially coordinating with the people you're playing with, and it's just a blast. It's a very good game. So currently sitting at 88% on Steam DB, and on sale for £2.59 or $3.39. You can also buy Overcooked the Gourmet Edition, which includes the DLC as well, The Lost Morsel, for £3.26 or $4.21. And then also Overcooked 2, which really builds on the first game. It's a lot wackier. There's a few more mechanics and stuff. It's still very, very, very fun. And again, both the games actually get extremely challenging in the DLCs in particular. So Overcooked 2, I think the first DLC, me and my sister completed the rest of the game like perfectly fine. But the DLCs we really struggled with. I don't think we ever finished it. So Overcooked 2 is currently on Game Pass as well. Again, very highly rated, just under 89%. You can buy the base game for £4.99 or $6.24. Again, this was also given away for free by Epic on the Epic Game Store. But this is the best way to experience it if you didn't get that. And finally, you can buy the Gourmet Edition with, I think, comes with 3 packs of DLC for £12.84 or around $16.84. So personally, I would say don't go for the Gourmet Edition. I don't want to say it's overpriced, but the base game is more than enough to tide you over for a long while. And then when it comes to the autumn or the winter sale, if you want to buy the rest of the DLC, do that then. But I'd say hold off on the Gourmet Edition for now. Okay, so if you want to see more recommendations from me this Steam Summer Sale, click up here. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.